Hello, everybody, and welcome to the second episode of the Morioh radio station series. In this podcast, as you all know, I will be interviewing the most popular JoJo YouTubers in the world. I began this series with JoJo, the most popular Spanish-speaking JoJo YouTuber. For today, I invited one of the funniest and craziest English-speaking JoJo YouTubers, CHEWIEDOG.
Oh, you flatter me. You're flattering me, man. Thank you, though. Hello, everyone.
Hello. Okay, so this has to be a little weird because you will be all asking yourself why a Spanish-speaking JoJo YouTuber is gonna interview some English-speaking JoJo YouTubers. Well, this rare station, because Spanish people already know it, but I really want to make something with the big guys of the JoJo community, like to make it alive, because I feel that many people, at least in the Spanish community, are going to their own way. Like there's nothing like a collaboration or something like that. So I wanted to try to gather everybody around. So CHEWIEDOG was the first of the English-speaking community that accepted to be here, and I was shocked when I saw the message, because I wasn't expecting to get an answer, or at least that fast. So it's really a pleasure to have you here. So for all those who already know you or don't know you, can you introduce yourself?
Well, my name is, as you know, Mr. CHEWIEDOG.
Mm-hmm.
I'm more of a newer YouTuber, I'd say. I say that, but I have technically been doing this for a couple years now. I think I'm more known for the absurd videos.
Yeah,
Like, there's a lot, I don't be making the standard JoJo videos. Well, I do as well sometimes, but I think I'm more known for the wacky ones.
Yeah, but that's why you are so. I think that's why you are so popular and so different at the same time. You're not like X-Force or Hammond Beat, for example. You are not like a lore speaking or lore analyzing JoJo tuber. It's like the crazy side, and JoJo is really a crazy series. So I think it's logical to have somebody like this.
I like to be a little eccentric, a little rambunctious, raise my voice a little. Yeah, I find that more fun.
Okay, so the interview will be organized in a few parts. So the first one will be the introduction with some questions made by me to every single guest. Then I selected like 8 or 9 questions made by your community. So once again, I thank the community of CHEWIEDOG for reacting so nice and so fast to the post that CHEWIEDOG put like yesterday or Saturday, I don't know. Then there will be some questions specific to you, to your content, or the things that you have done or said. And then we will have some activities, and you choose to do the JoJo GeoGuessr. So it's like the GeoGuessr, but in the JoJo universe. Complete the quote challenge and the true or false challenge. So those are activities to like finish the interview in a more fun way. So first of all, how did you discover JoJo? And this was a question that was asked by many people from your community. So that's why I didn't add that question in your community questions, because it was already in the introduction.
Yeah, that's actually interesting. I don't think I ever said so, but I do remember. I got introduced to the series, like a lot of people, through the memes, particularly back when the roundabout memes were really big. Like that was, I don't even know how many years ago that was. I was in high school, I think like early high school, like maybe like grade 9 or whatever. And I remember the roundabout memes. And JoJo was known as someone who hadn't watched the series. I knew it as the meme series.
Like
that
many
all the
people,
memes
I
come
think.
from.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I wanted to watch it so I could understand a lot of the memes. I was big into that JoJo meme culture. I remember me and my friends, because I watched it, me and my friends all watched it, and I remember in like class in like grade 9 and stuff, showing each other like memes that are now like the most Reddit pilled memes
Yeah.
on the planet, but they're funny. I remember memes that like I didn't understand, that were just completely spoiling stuff, that I didn't get it. I remember like this. I don't know why. I remember this one meme in particular. I'm not gonna say it. Well, I'll say it. It was like this one meme. It said like Donut Gang, and it was like every character in a series that
Oh
died
yeah. And at the
by
beginning,
donut.
you're like, what? What is the
Yeah, I
meaning of
didn't
this?
know who. Yeah, I didn't know what that means or anything. I just thought it was kind of funny, and then now I look back on that, and I'm like, oh, that just spoiled like a
That's
lot
not
of
funny. It's
characters'
just
death.
you just begin crying when you realize.
Yeah.
Okay, so it was through the memes. I think like many people, at least in Western. In Western, I think the anime series really got JoJo popular. I mean, the community of JoJo before the anime was very little.
Mhm.
So yeah, it was in the when the JoJo anime went out, Phantom Blood was released in
It was like sorry, not
2011.
18. Oh, the anime, not the
Yeah,
manga.
the anime. Yeah, the anime.
Yeah, the anime was something around there, like
Yeah, so that was when
2011,
JoJo
2012.
began to. I think it was with Golden Wind or Bento Aureo when really the meme era like exploded, like with the genre theme.
Yes.
Yeah, it was the golden era.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about JoJo, obviously, I always ask, as I call the taste profile. So you will have to say your favorite part, your favorite protagonist, your favorite antagonist, your favorite stan, and your favorite moment.
Okay. So, my favorite part, is definitely part 7, Steel Ball Run.
Okay.
I'm a big supporter of that. I will say, I think it's getting more close nowadays. I remember when I first read Steel Ball Run, I was like, this is like without a doubt the best. But I think I've mellowed out a bit over time to where I'm like, I can understand other parts also being up there.
Such as?
I really like part 8 as well.
Okay, Jojolion.
I love it. Right. A lot of things people say about me, which is true, is I like the new stuff more than the old stuff in JoJo's, which is true. I think personally, over time, Araki has just become a better writer.
Yeah, that's for
better
sure. Yeah,
mangaka.
yeah.
And so I think a lot of like the new JoJo stuff, like 7, 8, 9 in particular, I think are like really, really good.
Yeah, I agree.
That's from like my favorite era.
Okay. So for your favorite protagonist, your favorite JoJo.
It's close. It's either between Johnny or Gappy.
Okay, so it's
day.
again the new universe. Okay.
Yeah, I like Johnny because he's kind of real. I find him relatable more so than a lot of other protagonists. I kind of like he's got this like edge to him that I don't think a lot of the other protagonists have. This kind of like realism. Gappy, I really like early Gappy because he's funny. Over time, they kind of make him a bit less funny. He becomes a bit more serious.
Yeah.
Which makes sense in context of the story as he gets more
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. But I do really like early part 8 when he's just like this goofy guy. He's like sleeping under the mattress, stuff like that. I find that just funny, and I like him. I also really like his design.
Yeah. Yeah. True. Yeah. He likes like a Jean-Paul Gaultier model with the marine stuff. So your favorite antagonist?
All right, this is without a doubt Yoshikage Kira. He has
Okay,
always
no
been
doubt,
my
yeah.
favorite antagonist.
I mean,
Ever
if you all remember the video that
Yeah.
you made about,
Yeah. That was like way back when I first watched JoJo Part 4. I knew like right away. Like he was my favorite part of Part 4. He was like my favorite part of the series. I think he is so cool. Like to this day, and I talked about he's like probably my favorite anime villain of all time. I don't know what there is about him. Like I already talked about what there is about him, but like I don't know, someone could do a better analysis than I can. I just know something about him just like makes me gravitate towards him. He's just very entertaining. He's awesome.
yes, and he's very interesting because for once we can really go deep into it. Like for once,
Yes.
there are like full episodes of just him with his family, and
That was
it's so terrifying yet touching because maybe it's just me, but sometimes I wanted Kira to be happy. I mean, I wanted to see Kira changing because of his new family, but from time to time, Araki always remembers you. Hey, this is a serial killer. He has to die. He has to be. Yeah.
It did seem like he was going that way because, like, when he first got to his family, you know, he's very distant to like Shinobu and whatever. But then, like, he kind of starts growing fond of her. It kind of seems like he protects her from stray cat and stuff like that. And so you kind of feel like Araki is going in that direction. And so you're kind of like, damn, maybe he can change and just live this life.
Yeah, but at the end of it, no.
But no, he gets dragged to hell by hands.
Yeah, which is ironic.
Yeah, I think that's crazy too. Rocky just casually is like, hell exists in JoJo's, and like Yoshikage Kira is canonically in hell.
Yeah, exactly. Your favorite stand?
Probably again with Yoshikage Kira, but I really like Killer Queen.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, Killer Queen's probably my favorite.
Because of it, because of its design or the
honestly,
power?
mostly its design.
Okay.
Its power is really cool as well. I think there's a lot of creative stuff you can do with it, and I kind of like it's like the antithesis of Josuke's. Like,
yes,
Josuke puts stuff together, and he just like completely takes things apart and just explodes everything. But I also think it's the coolest stand design Araki has ever made. It's like it's unique, it's different, it stands out, and that's what I really like about it.
So I'm guessing that you were really happy when you saw Killer Queen returning in Jojolands.
Yes.
Even if it wasn't for a long time, but
I was disappointed we barely saw it.
Yeah.
I would think we should have seen more. Josuke's using the explosive bubble move. I think he only uses it like twice or something.
Yeah, but I remember the scene on the boat when it just explodes. It was really cool. It was a really cool arc.
Also tells me maybe Araki also has a fondness for Killer Queen because he's of all the stands he could have brought back, he chose to bring that one back. Well, he also brought back some others like the world.
Yeah.
Whatnot.
Yeah. Maybe if we follow the logic, he should bring back
King Crimson.
Yeah, King Crimson. But for the moment, it doesn't make any sense. So I mean, we will see that.
We'll see.
And your favorite moment, either because it's the saddest, the funniest, or the most epic, or.
So this might be recency bias. So, because I might change my mind later down the line. But I think ever since the Stone Ocean anime came out, I really like, and it sounds a little sadistic, I really like Jolene's death scene. Not because it's sad, because it's a very powerful moment.
Yes.
I think it is the saddest death in the whole series, in my opinion, and that's why I like it. I think it's very powerful.
Yes,
it's also just crazy. Like killing a protagonist like that, like holy crap.
Yeah, because you could feel it with Jonathan, because I mean he was dying and it was just going slowly, but Jolene, it was really fast, and literally. But I think that's a good thing. I mean, the bad thing about the Stone Ocean adaptation is that, in my opinion, Netflix just broke the hype from Stone Ocean for
Yeah,
Stone
I
Ocean.
completely
But
agree.
in the other hand, I think many people reconsidered their opinion about Stone Ocean with the anime, myself included. So, for example,
Yeah, I think
Jolene,
so as well.
after the anime adaptation, like went way up in the tier of JoJo protagonists, for example, because at the after before that, sorry, she was way below, and now she's. There are people like Jojo, the most popular Spanish-speaking JoJo YouTuber. He puts Johnny and Jolene at the same level because of, I mean, um, it's not the only reason, but because of her end, of her tragic end, and her sacrifice. Sorry. So I think the anime was good for that, to
Yeah,
change the point of view.
that's kind of the same thing that happened with Golden Wind as well. I wasn't I never like was there to read it before the anime. Some people, they talk about how they had to read the old scans with the terrible translation.
Mm-hmm.
I was fortunate enough to watch the anime first. But that's what I hear. People who've been around for a very long time in the JoJo's community, they say that the part 5 had a complete 180 in the community, where before the anime it was like one of the lesser popular parts, but once the anime happened, then it became very popular. And I see why. I think it is like, from a technical perspective, like I don't know, what's the word, like a production perspective, I think it's like the best produced part, like animation, music, sound.
Yeah, I think I mean, I didn't read the Bento Aureo manga yet, but I always heard that, for example, Hotajo again, he tweeted something like this, like a few months ago. He said that the best part animated is Stone Ocean in terms of story, and the best animated part in terms of animation and production is Golden Wind or Bento Aureo. And I'm rewatching it again for the fourth time, because to every close friends that I have, I always show them JoJo in exchange of something. For example, they show me Avatar, they show me Berserk, they show me One Piece. I say, okay, I can watch whatever you want. I just will show you JoJo. So I'm watching Golden Wind again, and I'm realizing again how the sounds, the art, the music is so good. Like, I prefer Stardust Crusaders.
Yeah.
Like, is the
Like,
meme. I prefer this, but this is
part?
this is what is the meme? This is perfect, but I prefer this. So I know Golden Wind is better in terms of production, but I prefer Stardust Crusaders, the story, the ambience, and everything.
Yeah, I think Stardust Crusaders is probably the second best produced. Or actually, I don't know. Maybe not, because the pacing issues. I'm not entirely sure.
That's the problem, yeah.
But I do remember. I just remember some like random shots from Stardust Crusaders that looked like really good. Like, there's this one shot at the very beginning. It's in the first episode when Joseph is meeting Jotaro in the jail. I just remember they did this like weird camera work showing like them both walking back and forth.
Yeah,
it's hard to describe. But I remember like that was just a cool shot, and
yeah, you could feel the attention or the love from David Production in those kind of shots.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. So now you've talked about everything, like your tastes profile. Sorry. I mean, I gotta say, this is a challenge for me. Making this in English, sorry, is a big challenge. So
You're doing great so
I
far.
hope. I mean, apparently CHEWIEDOG is understanding me. I hope the people watching this video will understand me. Normally, yes.
I think they will.
I hope.
I think you sound fine. You sound like just like someone with like a European accent, but like someone who speaks English.
Thank you. Okay, so the next question will be, what have you read or watched from Araki's work, and not only JoJo. It can be Gorgeous Irene. I mean, anything.
I've only seen the JoJo stuff. I haven't.
Okay, so yeah,
read
but
or watched
what
stuff.
exactly? I mean, have you read
Oh.
the manga or only the anime?
Yeah,
or...
so I've watched everything and I've read everything. Actually, I don't think I've read part 1. I think that's the only part I haven't read.
And why?
And so the reason I haven't read part 1, I'm not. It's my least favorite part. I'm not too like. I don't feel like I need to read it.
Okay.
Maybe I should. Maybe I will at some point. I just.
Yeah, maybe.
I'd rather read or watch.
And have you read Jojolands?
Yes.
I mean,
I
you
read
are
that
like
mostly.
okay, so you read chapter 18.
Chapter 80?
18, sorry, 18.
Actually, I don't think so. I've read this month's.
Okay, so it's 18, and this month will be the 19. Okay. Could you tell us about projects related to JoJo that you have in mind?
So I have a couple video ideas. I have one that I want to talk about, but I want to wait for the Steel Ball Run anime.
Okay.
This is probably the video idea I've held on to the longest, and it probably won't come out for years. So I don't want to have someone beat me to the punch. So I can't give away too much because then someone else is gonna make it. But I want to make a video.
I mean, it's recorded, so your idea it's already manifesting. So if something, I mean, if somebody steals it.
Yeah, I'm putting a digital trademark on it. They can't do it. Legally, they can't steal this. Basically, it's a video about how L.Joestar could, if he wanted to, completely break history using Tusk Act 4. And the infinite spin, he can do some crazy stuff to completely change history for the world forever in science.
I mean, I'm sorry, but but in which way? I mean, like in long term, like even in nowadays.
Yeah, but basically, he can use it to skip a lot of scientific advancements we made in our world if he wanted to, so that like technology would progress way faster.
In that sense, okay.
And he'd be like a multi-cajillionaire if he did so.
Yeah. Surely. Okay. And did you have any other projects or video ideas or video ideas that you were thinking about but you left behind?
Well, I've always wanted. Well, actually, there's a couple. I abandon videos semi-frequently. I don't know how often other YouTubers abandon videos, so I don't know if it's like a lot or not, but there's a couple of videos I've abandoned. One of which was basically just a whole rant video about why I hate Yo-Yo Ma and how I think it's like the stupidest thing ever in history.
Okay.
I wrote and recorded that, and then I was editing it, and I'm like, this isn't that great. So I kind of scrapped it. Another video I started work on, I made the list, and I recorded maybe about 15 minutes of it, and I edited maybe like 10 minutes of it, was I wanted to rank every single stand ability in the series just based on how much I like them.
Okay.
But that was like, I had to abandon that because that was like way too big of a project.
Okay.
Like, with how I edit my videos, it would take like I don't even know if I'll be alive by the time I'd be done it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I have at the moment.
Okay. So next question would be, if you met Araki, what would you ask him?
why would he bait us by having? I think the guy's name is Leo. In JoJo Part 9, there's a guy who looks so much like Joshu, but he's not Joshu. And I'm like, why would you bait us like that? He knew what he was doing. That was intentional bait. I just need to know why. And actually, another reason, Part 9, why is Rohan back? How does that work?
I mean, in terms of what can he bring to the story, or why he's exactly like the one from the original universe?
That's what I mean.
Okay.
Like, how does that work?
Yeah, so why him is exactly the same and not Joseph Joestar or any other people?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's true
I
that
think he's the constant. Even throughout all of like the D4C universes, he's the same probably. Everyone else gets like little slight differences, and he is just the same.
Yeah, true.
Which I guess would make him the main character of the whole universe.
Yes. If you could do a crossover, sorry, between JoJo's and any fictional universe, which one would it be and why?
That's a good question. I'm actually not sure.
I mean, it can be 2 or 3. It doesn't have to be one, but I don't know.
Well, it's not exactly a universe, or I guess it is. But I think it's kind of dumb that there's no JoJo's in Fortnite.
Oh no!
JoJo's is big enough for that.
That's a hot take, and I won't accept it. I don't want.
You don't want JoJo's in Fortnite?
I don't want like 8 years old kids to say, "Hey, that's the guy from Fortnite." Boom. That's not from Fortnite.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, no. I'm just. I mean, I'm a teacher, so I'm just bored by kids just watching like John Wick or Marvel or anything and saying, "Oh, that's from Fortnite." No, that's not from Fortnite.
But that's probably they see JoJo characters and like, "Oh, that's from TikTok power scaling."
Yeah. So no, I mean, in that sense, no. But in the other way, yeah, it's okay. I mean, I don't know if you know it, but there's a JoJo arcade game, which is only playable in Japan, at least multiplayer, and it's battle royale. I mean, it's the battle royale for JoJo, and it's possible to play it on Steam. I have a tutorial in my gaming YouTube channel, and it's really easy to install, but you cannot play against No, you cannot play against other people, at least for the moment. But maybe in the future.
I keep seeing that game get like updates and stuff. It's like
in Japan
supported JoJo's game, and it's just kind of funny that it's also like just completely locked over there.
Yes, it's very sad, but apparently it's very popular in Japan.
Which is why it tells me like, why wouldn't they release it worldwide?
I don't know. I mean, I could spend like full evenings playing that game with my JoJo friends. Like really, it's so fun. And I only have the original characters. I don't have I don't know, Abakio and the other ones. It's that game has so potential. But
you know, another series I want to see crossover. I want to see Jotaro and Kiryu Kazuma go on an adventure to like solve a crime or something. I think they would make a good duo. They would be good partners.
Yeah,
they're both very similar.
Yeah, true. I mean, I didn't see Death Note yet, but I know the characters and how they are. But yeah,
Kiryu Kazuma from Yakuza.
No, oh my god, sorry, I had Kira, so I was thinking about Death Note. Okay, so Yakuza, it's another series that I only know for the music.
Memes?
Yeah, the memes and the music. Yeah. And the guy smashing the table and just going away.
That's the guy.
Okay,
Kiryu
so that's
Kazuma.
him. Okay, so he's a good detective, right?
Yeah, he's very Kiryu. Or sorry, he's very Jotaro-esque. They're both like They're both very similar, so I think it'd be
Okay.
fun.
Would you recommend Yakuza Universe? I mean, playing.
I would. I'm a big Yakuza guy.
I mean, for me, what would be the first game to play?
Yakuza 0. That's
0.
like the best starting point for the series. It's like a prequel to the whole franchise.
I mean, in my
And
iPhone, I
for
have
most
the
of the
song,
Yakuza.
the Friday Night song. It's so cool.
Friday Night is good.
Yeah. That's the only thing I know. And the smashing table meme. That's the only thing.
If you want to, next time you look at the smashing table meme, if you want a little fun fact, take a look at the chair after he stands up. There's like a little glitch in the meme that no one ever noticed. But in the cutscene, the chair gets sent flying when he stands up.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's just something they never caught on when they made the game, I guess.
Okay. Well, I will watch it again. Okay, so last question from the introduction before doing the community questions. How do you think we could improve the JoJo community?
More acceptance and collaboration. I think.
Like, for example, from this type. From, like, for example, like this. Like those kind of things.
Yeah. Yeah. But also more acceptance, I think. And I don't know when JoJo became kind of like this. I think there's an air of snobbiness a lot of JoJo fans have. I don't know why.
Like they feel like superior?
Yeah. There's a lot of like gatekeeping, a lot of I don't know how to describe it. But I just think people need to you know, let people, you know, spread joy. Don't tear people down.
And maybe let people to not like JoJo, for example. I feel, for example, I mean, I always try to show the good things. Yeah, I always try to show the good things about JoJo when somebody says, no, I didn't like it, I only watched 2 episodes. I always try to push them to watch it, but I won't force them or call them dumb or something if they don't want to. But I saw people in the social media that are kind of aggressive sometimes, and I think it's because of the aura of JoJo, because it's a different manga. It's a different you cannot really, I mean, it's a shonen than a seinen, but you cannot really put it in a category, like, clearly. So I think that made the fans seeing themselves like special. Like, yeah, we're fans of a special series, like something unique, like something that was exposed in the Louvre of Paris. So I think that has to be correct and understand that there are other great works, like, for example, for me or for you, I guess, Vinland Saga, for example, is something really different.
Hell yeah.
But I think it can sit in my personal table at the same table as JoJo, and it's very different, and it's compatible.
I think it just pushes people away.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cringe, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. I've always felt like that. Not just JoJo's, like any series in general. I think like people like. I think art and stuff is to be shared, is to be enjoyed, and people. I don't like when people like they gatekeep or they tear other people down, or they engage in like wars. Like,
yeah,
like
it was.
Let's just enjoy things.
Yeah, exactly. We will see, but I think, yeah, collaborations, and I think that's the main reason why I'm doing this. For example, many people know you, many people know Hotajo, but they don't really know you. Like, for example, in those kind of interviews, they can learn a lot of things about you, and this is not a scripted video. This is like a very chill video with no expectations. So I think it really can open the community to everybody. So that would be how I would improve the community. But yeah, that would be also the main thing to improve. It would be the behavior against other anime community. Okay, so now we can go to part 2, to the questions that your community asks. So I'm sorry if I didn't take the 200 questions that I had. I had to choose. Okay, so the first question would be, if you could make your own JoJo part, what would the setting be?
Okay. Now this is incredibly selfish because no one else in the entire world would care, and they would be probably upset if this were the case. But
This feels
I
promising.
I want freaking JoJo Canada. Everyone else on all the other parts of the world, they'd be like, that's lame. I want like that's like there's so much cooler places, and I'm like, I don't care. I want to see Toronto Josuke go to the CN Tower and the Eaton Center and I don't know, the Ripley's Aquarium or stuff like that.
I mean, I remember your YouTube short about Canada. Like, Canada actually exists in JoJo, and you proved that yes. I think it was in Stable 1 that they talk about
Yes.
Canada.
They mentioned a mushroom. They say
Yeah.
Canadian mushrooms. And I
Yeah.
was like, when I was reading that for the first time, I'm like, hell yeah. Representation. But yeah, no, I recognize that. I feel like if that was the case, like everyone from every other country on Earth would be like, this is lame. Why don't we just have another American JoJo's? Like, America is objectively more interesting than Canada. And so I understand why there probably will never be a Canadian JoJo.
And Europe? I mean, you could like in France or Spain or Italy again. No, it's kind of repetitive. But maybe Spain or France. I don't know. Yeah.
I think that'd be cool. I think France, of the European countries, I think France might be cool to see.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Okay, so a Canadian JoJo. And how would you explain to someone why JoJo's is a good show?
I like it because it's very... First off, there's a couple things that I like to point out. One, I like my manga when they kill people. I find a lot of manga, battle action manga...
Like kill people
they're
in
getting
general
better.
or kill the good guys?
Just characters.
Okay.
They're getting better, I will say. A lot of modern manga are better. Like the very new manga. But
It depends because sometimes in, like, for example, My Hero Academia and Jujutsu Kaisen, like they kind of die, but then they come back. So
yeah,
you
I
feel
like
that a lot of
Jujutsu
shonens are still hesitating to go where Araki went like 40 years ago.
That's what I'm saying. Like, dude, yeah, like spoil. We've already talked about spoilers and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But like, take it in that like, I don't remember the exact year the chapter came out, but it's somewhere around like 2001, maybe 2003. Araki in the manga killed Jotaro Kujo, the poster child of the entire franchise, to this day. And I think that is super ballsy. And I don't think like other mangas, they don't have the balls to do that. To kill just the poster child, which I think is very, very cool.
Yeah, it's like killing Goku.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's cool. It's because I like it when they take risks. I like it. Characters die. I say this as someone like, because I think it was last year or something. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna watch like all of One Piece. And one of my big pet peeves with One Piece, and a lot of people's pet peeves with One Piece, is that no one dies. Because Oda doesn't have balls. He's too afraid to kill people. And I think that's lame. I think it's cool that in JoJo's, Araki's like, you know what? Freaking, this dog is gonna die. He's gonna get sucked into a black hole.
Yeah. And I think that if you find the Jotaro death like tragic, I mean, in a book written by a French journalist specialized in manga that talks about JoJo, he really explains that when Jonathan died in the manga, like, the Japanese public didn't understand to see a guy that looked exactly like him, Joseph Joestar. So people were still in shock because at that period, if now it's weird to kill a shonen or just the main character, imagine in the 80s. So in the 80s, it was unthinkable. So Araki, in the literally first part of the manga, he killed Jonathan Joestar.
Yeah, I think stuff like that is very cool.
Yes.
I also really like the part system. It makes the series way more digestible, and it's like when I think of, like, again, if I'm talking about One Piece again, but when I watched all of One Piece, it just feels very long, and I don't mean that in a good way. Like, it feels like pretty bloated, whereas JoJo's, I think because it's separated into parts, JoJo's is technically longer than One Piece.
Yeah,
but it doesn't feel that way, like, at all, because it feels like multiple digestible stories.
Because it's a saga.
And I really like that.
It's a saga.
Yeah.
One Piece, it's a single saga. JoJo is a saga with 9 parts, so it's not the same.
And I think it's like a very cool and good way to have your series.
Yeah. And I think the other good point about that is that if you tragically die, like Miura, for example, you cannot say your manga isn't finished because you finished it like 8 times. So if Jojolands isn't finished, okay, well, part 9 won't be finished. Jojolands story won't be finished, but we will have the story of the 8th last Joestar. So you don't need part 9 to finish. I mean, to understand the whole saga.
Yeah, I have a theory. Some people, they say, people like to discuss, like, oh, when will the last part be? Will it be part 9 or maybe it'll be part 10? My theory, and I think this is probably the case, I don't think there will be a final part, because I think Araki is just going to keep working till he literally dies, till he drops dead. And so I don't think there will be, like, an ending. I think, like, just one part, either part 9, part 10, maybe even like part 11, depending on how old he lives. But I think he's just going to keep working on it until he just drops dead. And whatever part he's working on when he drops dead will be, like, the ending. Except there won't be an ending, so... Maybe.
I mean, we will see. But we should expect 10 more years, because Jojolands was 10 years of publication. So Jojolands should be the same length. So we will see.
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay, so if you were to rate the Joe Bros, who would be the best and the worst in your list?
Oh, jeez. Oh, no. People don't... my controversial statements are going to
Is it going to be a hot take?
100%. So I'll start with the best, because I don't think the best are the hot take. My 2 gold standard. There's 2 that I consider to be the gold standard.
I think I can imagine both of them, but okay, go on.
Yeah, Gyro and Bruno.
Wow, what a surprise! Wow.
I think they're just, like, the best Joe Bros, like, objectively. Like, I know art is subjective.
Yeah, but there's some things that are objective.
Yeah, exactly. I think it makes sense. I think Araki took his time. He put some elbow grease into making those ones in particular very good. Like, both of them kind of even outshine their respective JoJos in their parts. Like, I like Bruno more than I like Giorno, and I don't think that's, like, a crazy statement. I think a lot of people would agree with that.
No, I can understand. Yeah, I think many people underestimate Giorno, but that doesn't mean that Bruno is a great character. But I think Giorno is misunderstood. I think. But that's another story. Okay, so for the worst, and I think this is the hot take.
So start. I guess there's 2 that stand out to me to being pretty weak.
Okay.
Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I'm kind of thinking of 3.
Oh, okay.
Well, okay. First off, let me ask this question: who would be the Joe Bro of Part 3? Would it be?
I think mainly Kakyoin and Polnareff, because I don't see Joseph Joestar like a Joe Bro. It's like a Joe.
Joe Dad.
Yeah. Abdul,
Okay.
Joe Bro, I don't know, maybe.
So first
You
off,
can count everybody.
the one I don't think is particularly controversial. I think Hermes is a little weak. Like not bad, but like compared to like again like Bruno and Gyro, like
Okay,
I don't know. I don't really care about her much in particular.
okay.
But I do think she's better than say Kakyoin and Avdol. I like Polnareff. I'll leave Polnareff out of this. But I think both Kakyoin and Avdol are like pretty whatever. Like I don't know. They I feel like they don't really have much up going for them. Like what do we know about Avdol? Like this is the argument that someone told me before. I won't say who because I don't want to put them in the fire. They're another JoJo YouTuber, and they told me this. They're like, tell me like 5 interesting facts about Avdol. And it's like you kind of can't because we don't really get that information about him. We
Yeah,
don't
and
really know much
even
about him.
Kakyoin, I think Kakyoin transforms into an interesting or tragic character once you watch Star Wars Crusaders again, because you know that he will die in a tragic way, so you know that he has a family. But when they introduce that at the end, just right before dying, it's not so natural. Because, for example,
That's sort of how I feel.
The Polnareff story, you get the story from the beginning. So he wants to forgive himself. He wants to take revenge and everything. But Kakyoin, you're not really sure what does he want to do. So yeah, he's a touching character, and at least for me, once you have already watched Star Wars Crusaders, but the first time it's okay.
And then I gotta say it.
Oof.
I gotta say the last one. This is the one that people like, dude. They're gonna kill me for this.
Okay.
Like,
don't worry.
I need to go into witness protection after saying this. But if we're talking only about part 1, okay, part 2 is a different story. Part 2 is a completely different story.
Okay.
I've completely changed my mind if we're including part 2. But if we're only talking about part 1, I don't think Speedwagon's very interesting.
Okay. I mean,
because he's very popular.
I mean, I know
following.
I'm not sure that the reason because of Speedwagon is popular, it's like a logical reason. I think it's more of a meme. I think because I mean I like Speedwagon, but I'm with you. I don't really understand the hype. So I'm beginning to think
I like him in part 2.
It's something.
He's very cool in part 2.
Yeah, part 2. But all the memes show Speedwagon like from part 1. So I'm beginning to think it's more like a joke, more like a real fan community, I think.
No, I agree with that, and I think maybe I was a part of that community maybe like 5, 6, 7 years ago or whatever. I don't know it was till I first watched the series, but then I kind of fell off. I fell off the Speedwagon hype train. Yeah. And now I'm like I don't know. He doesn't really do much. No. In part 2 he does, but in part 1 he doesn't really do much. I don't really find him very interesting. He's still better than Will A. Zappelli though. I think Will A. Zappelli. I forget that guy exists.
And Caesar?
I like Caesar.
You like Caesar?
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What is something you want to achieve in the future, either YouTube or in real life?
Holy crap, this got real. Real quick. I have a couple YouTube goals.
Yeah.
I want to meet some people that I don't want to say publicly because it's embarrassing. But there's
embarrassing
for you?
YouTubers.
Yes.
JoJo-tubers.
Like, no, they're not JoJo-tubers.
Okay.
They're just general YouTubers that I grew up watching.
Okay.
That I would love to meet someday. It's a bit embarrassing to admit that
I
you
mean, I
because
mean, I
people may
won't
see
force you
this.
to say it, but you can say it. I mean, it
Listen,
won't bother me.
listen, all I'm gonna say is, you know, maybe there's a YouTuber who may have done something in 1999 that I think might be very cool to meet him someday.
In 1999,
We'll leave it there. We'll leave it there.
YouTube
But
existed in that year.
no. He did something in 1999. He hasn't been
Right.
caught yet.
I will let people in the comments try to
Yeah,
guess because
they
I
can.
have no clue about that guy.
I think I'd love to meet that hit. I'd love to meet him. There's a couple others. So that's one of the things I want to do with YouTube. There's some people I want to meet.
Okay.
I would love to do big events. I don't know what events I would do, but I want to get. I want to do some cool stuff. I don't want to. I want to go beyond just talking it on my microphone from the computer. I want to figure out some cool big projects to do.
Like physically, like I mean, I don't know, like outside.
Maybe, God forbid, I go outside, but something. I don't know what, but like I have a lot of ambition when it comes to YouTube,
Okay.
and I want to meet people. I want to go places. I want to do cool things. I want to try new experiences.
Okay. And
That's why
in
I'd say I'm a very open person to stuff.
I mean, I saw it when you answered to my message like a few hours after I sent the message. I just sent the message like a bottle in the ocean. I wasn't expecting an answer, and I can understand how you are as a person when you answer and in the way you answer. Like you answer like, yeah, okay, of course, let's do it. You didn't ask questions like, who are you? Do I know you? You
Who are
know,
you?
I'm I'm just a Spanish YouTuber, please.
So okay, so here's some life advice for people listening. And the reason I'd say I'm like that is it's a conscious effort. I think growing up, I was very reluctant to experience new things and to take chances or to just say yes to opportunity.
Hmm.
I think I was a bit shut off, and I think then now that I'm an old man, I'm 21 years old. Like holy crap!
I'm 26. How can you be old?
But I think it's the thing I regret growing up the most is I wish I did didn't turn down opportunity as much. So I'm pretty open. You know, people ask me to do things. I say yes a lot now, even if like no matter what it is, I try to make a conscious effort to say yes because I just feel like that's life, and I feel like that's what I'll remember. When I
Wow.
grow up, I won't remember sitting at home because I didn't want to go out and do this in high school because I'd rather go home and play like I don't know Rainbow Six Siege on my PlayStation. I'll remember doing things.
Man, what you just said is deeper than Villain Saga.
Yes. So if you're listening right now, say yes when opportunity knocks because then you're gonna be 21 years old and you're gonna be like, man, I wish I said yes to this and that.
Yeah. It's a beautiful message. I wasn't expecting that, and I thank you for that. I think it's a
It's one of my personal philosophies I live by now.
okay, beautiful one. And in real life, do you want to achieve something in your real life?
I think it would be very cool to go back to college because I joke about it a lot on my channel. I am a proud college dropout. Hell yeah. I took one semester of like this like computer science class
Yeah.
and I realized, man, I am not built for this. You have to be smart to do like computer stuff. And I am not that smart of a person.
And
So I
and
dropped
now,
out and now I make YouTube videos.
but
And I
but
want to still make YouTube videos, but I also think it might be cool to go back to college.
and why? Because you feel guilty, or you think it can help you for the future, or why?
I don't know if it would help me in the future, but I kind of feel like I'm missing out. As someone who dropped out, I kind of feel like a bit self-conscious about the fact that I dropped out.
Okay, and would it be the same thing, like the computer thing, or
No, I'd have to find something more up my alley. I think I'd do something more artsy,
okay?
more maybe something related to video production, stuff like that. Because
I mean, you have
I may or may not.
experience, yeah.
Yeah, I may or may not have experience in that field, but because I think I was just in the wrong. I was in the wrong stream. I'm not the computer science nerd I thought I was.
Okay. Well, talking about that, there's another question. Why did you become a YouTuber?
So the reason I started doing YouTube, well, so I've technically, I'm one of those people who technically I've been doing YouTube since I was like 13. But
Yeah.
what that meant was just me making like crappy little videos.
Yeah, like
I've
everybody.
always,
Yeah.
yeah, I've always been interested in stuff like that. I think I'm an entertainer at heart. I like to be in front of a camera on stage. I was a bit of a theater kid in high school, and YouTube is just a good way to
To
get
express
out
that.
there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another thing is I grew up very heavy on YouTube, and I still am. Like, I have a friend, my friend Corticon, actually. He's been in some of my videos. He does not watch YouTube ever. He didn't even, like, know who Mr. Beast was until, like, semi-recently, which I think is freaking insane. And I always make fun of him for that. But, I, on the other hand, growing up, I didn't even, like, watch as much TV or shows or anything. I would just like watch YouTube on the family iPad. And I kind of have this like I want to pay it forward. I want to pave the road for the next generation. I grew up watching YouTube. I want to give people videos for them to grow up on as well. And I kind of feel that.
So you
way.
you want like to continue the legacy?
I want to continue the cycle.
Yeah.
The YouTuber cycle, because then they're gonna start doing YouTube, and I'm gonna be an inspiration for them. And I think that'll be very cool if I inspire people.
Wow.
To do
I
stuff like that.
I heard. I mean, I watched a lot of videos about you, but you're talking in a way that I never heard in your videos, and it's just beautiful. It's really touching. And I
Thank
think
you.
people
It's
will be
different.
discovering a new dimension of CHEWIEDOG.
It's different because I do like pretty much scripted content like most of the time. I've done a couple non-scripted stuff. I think I'm generally way better scripted. I think the reason this is different is because it's less funny. When I do scripted content, I work on the script over like maybe I'll write like the general outline or like what the video's about, but over the next coming days I'll add jokes and stuff. Like I don't write all the jokes all at once.
Yeah. No, of course, it's like a comedian preparing the spectacle. Okay. If you could change one thing about each JoJo part, what would it be? It could be a tiny detail.
I think part 1
I will erase
needs
it.
more Dio. Look, okay, you know what? I was actually thinking that. I'm like, do I want to say that out loud? Like, no.
I'm protecting you,
People,
Chewie.
listen, hold on. People will get upset if I say that for real. So no, I don't want to erase it. I know it's like important and all that, blah, 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 blah. I do think I would like it better if there was more Dio. There's already like a lot of him. Just give me more, because he is, in my opinion, the best part of part 1.
Yes.
I'm not like a huge fan of part 1. Like I say that very openly. But one thing I will give part 1 always, I think Dio is freaking amazing in part 1. He's like, I loved all the scenes with Dio in part 1.
Yeah,
So
true.
give me more of that.
It's like Kira in part 4.
Part 2, make me like the Pillarmen, because I don't really find them very interesting. I don't know what they can do, but I'm not like they don't really interest me very much. I like Wamu. I think a lot of people like Wamu, but ECDC.
ACDC.
ACDC in particular.
He's really forgettable. Cars.
I don't remember.
Yeah, maybe at the end.
Ours
but
is a bit better.
Yeah. Okay, part 3.
3. This is an anime thing.
Okay.
I think the pacing needs to be
as you said before. Yeah.
I have multiple friends who have dropped the series in part 3 because it was like the pacing was too bad. I didn't have that issue personally. I watched it and I liked it, and I never even thought like pacing issues are bad. But I know that there's a lot of people who do, and for them, I think, like, come on, some of those fights did not need to be 2 episodes, you know?
Yeah, true.
Oh, how old is this water? I just drank water on my desk. It was like, can water be stale? Ugh.
Okay, so part 4.
Part 4, I would say put more of the Kira foreshadowing. There's already like some. I think that's like some of the cool. I talked about my Kira video, but I think one of the coolest things the anime did for the part 4 anime is they retroactively added Kira foreshadowing to a lot of scenes.
Apparently, Araki himself went to the David Production Studios to ask to put a scene at the really at the very beginning of part 4. That scene with the radio and the hand.
Yeah.
It was an Araki idea.
I think that is very cool, and it makes rewatches of part 4 super cool when you can point out. It's like, where's Waldo?
Yes.
You're walking by, you're like, oh my god, there he is.
Yeah,
and
like
it fits into his character too, because he's like blending into the background. That's like his whole thing.
Yeah, he's a normal guy, so you could technically see him, and you can see him. For example, in the Red Hot Chili Peppers arc in the anime, you can see it when the light goes out in the city. You can go like the red lights, like going crazy, and you can see Kira waiting.
I think that's super cool, and I think like it was already a banger when they did it. I think do it more, put more in, maybe make it like, but like don't make it like so overbearing that it's like obvious, so like new viewers go like, who's this blonde guy that keeps showing up? I think it's cooler if it's like hidden.
Yeah,
it's like
it could be.
You know, at Disney they have hidden Mickeys.
Yes.
You heard of that? Dude, what if they did hidden Mickeys, but it's like hidden Kira?
Or it can be like for example, I don't know, Josuke turns on the TV, and the TV tells that another woman has disappeared in strange conditions.
Exactly. I think just more of that is super cool, and it makes Morioh feel like more alive and more real. It's super cool.
Yeah, because that story, it's real. That happens in like really calm towns. That's why Kira is terrifying, because he's real. He's normal.
Yeah, he's not like a vampire supervillain.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, those don't exist. Or maybe.
Okay, so part 5.
Part 5? Okay. Listen, I know earlier you said you think Giorno is a little misunderstood. Still, I think he should. I don't know what Araki could do, but I think Araki should have worked. Make him a little more interesting to people like me.
What I said doesn't mean that he's a good character like Bruno, but I think people just completely crash and destroy Giorno, saying he's nothing. He doesn't say nothing. He doesn't feel nothing. No, it doesn't mean that. But I mean, what you're saying makes sense. It's true that Giorno could be more work.
I think in comparison to the people he's surrounded by in part 5, it makes him like less interesting in comparison. It's all about like relativity, where like he's put beside Bruno, and it's like I just like Bruno more.
Yeah.
I think level them out, bring them together, so that it's not like, it doesn't make me like just like Bruno more, or make me like him the same amount.
Yeah, true.
Part 6, erase Yo-Yo Ma, just like from the whole planet.
From existence.
Yeah, I hate that fight. That's my least favorite fight in the whole series, by far.
Okay, yeah, it's completely understandable.
It just upsets me. It's like, it's not boring, it's worse than boring. It's infuriating. Like, it, I guess just like, that arc in general is kind of a weaker arc.
Okay.
Like, for Rocky.
Part 7?
I'd say improve.
Oh, no, sorry. Okay.
Part 7,
I
think, I wish the race was involved more in like the second half, because it kind of feels like after a certain point the race just like we stop seeing it or hearing about it, or
Yeah,
like
it's like
it
just a
becomes not
context.
important.
Yeah, like just hey,
Yeah.
hey, so you know, the second, I mean the third stage has finished. Okay, we can continue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of wish it stayed more relevant, because I think that's one of the coolest things about Part 7 is like it's a freaking horse race across America. Like how sick is that?
Yeah.
That's
And
super sick.
and I think that's one of the reasons, because I don't know if you will agree, but many people don't like high voltage because um the scene with Johnny, Fanny Valentine, Gyro's death was epic, was um and, like
It felt like the ending.
yeah. But then you had high voltage. So I liked high voltage because
It does
uh
feel like fan service, to be honest.
it's a bit of fun service because of the world, but at the end it's a race. I mean, we all wanted to know how the race finished, and
True.
and in the other way, it's Joestar and Brando. We had to see Joestar and Brando at one point, like really confronted, like face to face. So I liked it. I liked it.
I thought of something else as
It
well.
wasn't the best part of part 7, sorry, but I think it was necessary at least to finish the race, and I think that it was beautiful not to see Johnny winning the race. I
Mhm.
I liked it. So
I came up with something else as well. You reminded me of it. High voltage, bro. Johnny's stupid, stupid chud incel father. I don't know what else to.
oh
He
yes,
does not deserve retribution. There's a scene where him and Johnny, you know, they meet. Like, oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I mistreated you and this and that. Please come back. And in my opinion, I'm like, dude, you only care because has a chance at winning like 50 kajillion dollars in a race. You're only coming back now that he's like a potentially a rich and famous horse racer.
yeah.
That's the only reason you're coming back. Stop with this sob story. Like, I'm so sorry, I mistreated you. You don't care. You just want to have a rich and famous son. And Johnny's like, Johnny, you're better than him. That's what I'm saying. Like, his dad doesn't deserve the retribution he gets. He's a bum. It's the same thing when an NBA player's dad comes back after not being present in their life just because their son's now in the NBA. Like, bro, you're better than him. You don't need him.
Okay. Yeah, true.
Part 8,
I really forget about him. Yeah, true.
Part 8, fix Toru. Toru just sucks. Like, he just sucks, man. I like the Wonder of You. I'll stand by that. The Wonder of You is very cool stand ability. But Toru, he's just... like... I can't like him. How can I like him? He's just lame. He's not like a good, like, I don't like him as a villain. I don't like him as a character. I don't really like him at all.
I think that's what people mostly like about him is his stand. He's terrifying. Wonder of You, it's just terrifying.
I completely agree. I think the Wonder of You, like I said, the Wonder of You, super cool. Toru himself, super lame.
I mean, literally, in the JoJo All-Star Battle, the main character is Wonder of You. Toru is like behind. So I mean, even in the game story, it's like a puppet. Wonder of You is not the puppet. Toru is the puppet. So much that when Toru dies, Wonder of You is still alive.
Yeah.
So Toru seems like a vessel. It's just the vessel where Wonder of You is.
Dude,
So.
what if, and this is just theory crafting, what if Part 8 tried something unique where it's like Wonder of You is the main villain and they're like trying to find a stand user, but it turns out there is no stand user. The Wonder of You is like a stand without a user. It's like a rogue stand. I don't know how that would work in universe. Like that would be kind of cool. A cool
I mean,
twist.
Wonder of You become a rogue stand once Toru died. So I think it won't be absurd. That's an interesting idea. And would you change something about part 9 for now?
Yes, kill Usagi. Just like
Why?
kill him in the most brutal way possible. He sucks, man. Okay, maybe that's a little harsh, but like, I don't know. No, it's not. Kill Usagi. I don't care about him. Paco is the goat. I like Paco. I like Dragona. I like Jodio. Usagi. Like, he's a fraud. Get him out of here.
He always reminds me of Tinkle from the Zelda series.
He does look like Tinkle. His stand also does the gritty, which is pretty cool. I like that.
Yeah. Okay. What's your favorite localized stand name?
Oh my god. It
I
has
have
to
one.
be
I have one for
filthy-
me.
Filthy
Yeah.
acts done at a reasonable price. Like, come on, man. I so hope there's no way they keep it. Because, like, in the Part 6 anime, they did change, like, flaccid pancakes to limp biscuit or limp viscuit or whatever. So I don't think they're going to keep it, unfortunately. But if there's one localized stand, I pray that they please keep it filthy acts done at a reasonable price. I want the dub version of him to say that. That would be so funny to me.
That would be like hilarious. It would be so funny.
I feel like what they're probably gonna do instead is I think he's just gonna the localized name is just gonna be D4C.
Yeah,
That's
because
what I think.
because technically D4C, I mean, we all know what does it mean, but it's not technically
Yeah,
the name.
It's not
so
like copyrighted.
yeah,
Mhm.
okay.
I have a theory. I think that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, maybe. What is your favorite fictional work besides JoJo's?
Oh jeez,
Or two or like to complete the top 3. I mean, guessing that JoJo is your favorite fictional work, but it can not be the case.
I can't. I don't think that's like. I think that changes all the time for me. I think a lot of people do have like works of fiction where they're like, this is my favorite above every other work of all time. I'm very, very fluid.
Okay.
I genuinely don't think I have like something that I could say is like above everything else.
And would you have like 2 or 3 that are usually in the top 3? Like,
I guess I can name a couple, but like I can't say that they'd be my favorite.
okay.
Maybe 3 years from now, it might be completely different. I'm a big I use a lot of the memes video. Breaking Bad guy.
Okay.
I do really like Breaking Bad.
Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul, or just Breaking Bad?
Both, I guess, but I do prefer Breaking Bad over Better Call Saul.
Okay.
I also, and this is more newish. I'm hesitant to put like newer things as like my favorite of all time because it might just be the honeymoon phase. And once the honeymoon phase wears out,
I mean,
you know?
the question is now, so
Oh, okay.
so
I'm
so
also
it,
very
we
into
won't
Chainsaw
we
Man.
won't be saying in 2026. Ah, you said this in 2024. No,
Yeah.
just say what you feel right now.
Very into Chainsaw Man. I
Okay.
really like Chainsaw Man. I think because I read not all of them, but I read a good amount of Gen mangas. Not Kagurabachi. I want to read Kagurabachi. But of the new Gen mangas, I think Chainsaw Man is just the best. I really like Chainsaw Man. And I've gotten semi recently super into the Yakuza. So I'd say like that's like my third.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so now questions related to you. Once, I mean a few months ago, I think, you did hottest JoJo takes video. So we had a lot of hot takes today. Would you have any other hot takes that you didn't mention here?
Like hot takes that are mine?
Yes, of yours, yeah. Or that you read and you didn't put because I don't know. I mean, but yeah, mostly your hot takes.
I mean, I already mentioned like my hot takes. My hot takes are not too fond of Speedwagon, not too fond of Phantom Blood. Uh, you know, I get enough. I get enough. I get enough people telling me that it's a hot take that I know it's a hot take. Like,
Okay.
holy crap.
And would you have any hot takes about any other fictional work? Any manga, anime, or?
Hmm.
I mean, for example, about One Piece, you said that it was too long, that Oda
Yeah.
didn't
I
have
don't know
the
if that's
balls.
super. I don't know if that's a. I don't think those are hot takes. I think a lot of One Piece. I talked
Yeah,
to a good amount
maybe.
of One Piece
Yeah.
fans. I think most One Piece fans agree. Also, it's way too long and bloated, which is why we're getting a new adaptation. Actually, hot take maybe. I made a video on it. I really liked the One Piece live action. I know a lot of live action anime adaptations get shit on. People don't like seeing live action.
Yeah, but do
anime
you
adaptations.
think this one is getting shit on? Because from what I'm seeing, it's kind of accepted by the One Piece community. It's not
I've
at the
seen
level of
both.
the anime, but it seems okay.
I've seen both. My brother likes the Death Note live action, and that I don't understand. I hated that. That sucked. I watched that when it came out.
Yeah, I'm afraid when I see live action, like for example, Full Metal Alchemist, Death Note. I just don't
There's a live
watch them.
action Full Metal Alchemist.
Yes, but don't. Nah.
I didn't even know
No, no,
about
no,
that.
no, no. It doesn't exist, Chewie. It doesn't exist.
Oh, maybe a hot take. I don't like the Attack on Titan ending, but I don't think that's a hot take. I think a lot of people don't like it.
Well, I mean, for people that likes it, I think they will defend it with their life. So I think it can be a hot take for them. I won't say I didn't like it, but
Wait,
I think it's a bit exaggerated to say it's a masterpiece.
hold on. I have a hot take about life in general.
Oof.
Okay, I think people shouldn't take a criticism of something they love as an attack on their character. I think people get that twisted sometimes. They when you criticize something that they disagree with, they don't take it as a criticism of that work. They take it as an attack, a
Yeah,
personal
a
attack
personal
on
attack. Yeah,
themselves.
yeah.
And I don't agree with that.
I think that's one of the reasons the debates in our days, even I mean either political or between students, are really toxic and tense because people tend to see everything like a personal attack.
I don't agree with that.
No, I mean it's not a good thing, but it's something that I'm observing. Like for example, from my students now, they tend to attack themselves. Um, um, how do we say? Attack themselves and not um, responding to the other arguments or I don't know if
They
it
go
has
for personal
become very
insult.
personal. Yeah, and it's kind
There's
of
actually a
sad.
term for that. It's called ad hominem.
Oh yeah, yeah, ad hominem.
Um,
Yeah, yeah, it's Latin. Yeah,
yeah.
I was searching for that. Okay. So in one of your videos, you said that you had two kings in terms of anime
Hell yeah.
antagonists, Kira and Askeladd. You said you were going to do a video about Askeladd, but could you tell us why Askeladd shares that spot?
So Askeladd's kind of similar to Kira in a way where I think he just has this aura to him that I really like. He's so freaking cool. Are you familiar with Vinland Saga?
I watch all the anime. So I want to read the manga, but I'm watching
Right.
the Vinland Saga with a friend, and he doesn't have time to read the manga, so I have to wait for him. So I will
To be
be
fair,
watching the anime.
as someone who read the manga, I think it's already peaked by the anime. The first two arcs are, I think, the two best. But it's harder to explain why I gravitate toward him so much. I think it's because he's like introduced as such a dastardly villain because he killed his father. But then it kind of gets flipped a bit where he kind of becomes Thorfinn's new father.
Yes.
And you realize that he's not really a bad person. And if anything, Thorfinn's kind of a bad person. And it's that dynamic he shares with Thorfinn that I think is so cool and unique for an anime villain.
And the end of the prologue is so beautiful. It's just you cannot know how many times have I watched, like, randomly. I was just chilling in my PC and I just went to Netflix and just put the end of prologue again and again. With the Spanish dub, because the Spanish dub is incredible for Askeladd, and that scene with the music ahead of the road, it's the name of the track, is just it's just incredible.
Yeah, Askeladd's my favorite part of the series. Maybe that's why I think it peaks. It peaks at the beginning because Askeladd, he dies, so he's not really in the rest of the series.
Yeah, but he's still present in season 2, right? With that episode, I don't know how is it called, when he goes to
Valhalla in his dream.
Yeah, when he goes to hell, and Askeladd pushes Thorfinn to just wake up, to raise up, and to change as a person. So I mean, it doesn't surprise me that those 2 episodes, I think they are the 2 best rating Vinland Saga episodes.
Yeah, that was very beautiful.
Yeah,
very beautiful episode.
You made a video about Jojolands last year. What is your opinion about Jojolands for the moment? Because you don't talk a lot about Jojolands, at least
That's
on the videos that I
don't
watch.
really talk about it very often. I think now that we're making this video now, I'm much more positive about it. Like I said, I haven't read the chapter
18, yeah.
Yeah, but I've read the first 17, and I think it's very good now. Like, I think the beginning was super strong. I loved like chapter 1, chapter 2, I think as well. I think we're super strong. Like Jodio had a very cool introduction. It's like kind of different. Hawaii is like a cool place. Reminds me of Pokemon.
Yeah.
Sun and Moon. But then there was a couple chapters. I didn't like that Rohan comes back.
Okay.
I still am not a fan of that. I kind of wish, if you're gonna bring back a character, I think it'd be cooler and make more sense to bring back someone from Part 8. It's kind of a meme that, it should have been Joshu. But, like, even if it's not Joshu, just anyone from Part 8 would have been cooler, in my opinion, than Rohan.
Yeah, nobody expected Rohan.
Yeah, or just a completely new character altogether, I think would have been cooler. And then, especially now that it's ended, and Rohan hasn't really been relevant since, it kind of feels like, what was the point? Like,
I think, yeah, I hope and I'm expecting, because of Araki's evolution as a writer, I'm guessing, I'm hoping that Rohan will come back.
Yeah, because it would be really weird if he just
it would be
like,
really weird. Point? Yeah, no, it would be really weird.
And then there was right after that there was the cat wire fight. Cat Size, I think it was called.
Yeah.
The Stand, or Guerrilla Warfare was the arc. And that is just like, that was a lame fight, like straight up. That fight was lame.
Yeah,
like
it wasn't.
That's the 4th time we've seen like a string/rope stand, and it was probably the least interesting of them.
Yeah, it wasn't very epic. But what I've liked the most for the moment, I think it's chapter 13 where we go deep into Dragona past.
Yeah. Okay. Yes. So, right. Let me continue here.
Yeah. Sorry.
But then if we made that, if we were making this video right after like the cat size fight, I would be way more negative about the Jojolands. But then it picks up.
Charming.
Then we get the Dragona backstory, which is like one of the best chapters in the series, maybe. I don't know.
No. I don't know. Yeah, I don't think it's a hot take. I really agree with you. I think chapter 13, I think it's 13, from Jojolands, I think it's one of the best and one of the most courageous decisions that Araki has made from
It was
the beginning.
awesome.
Yeah.
And then after that, we get the Charming Man fight, which was like cool because we rarely see like martial arts-esque fights in JoJo's.
True.
So when they do happen, they're very cool, and it was just very cool. And then we get Howler, and going to the land distribution place. Like it's picked up. I really like it now. I liked it at the very beginning, then in the middle, it started to lose me with Rohan and Cat's Eyes, and then it picked back up. And
Yeah.
now I'm back on. I'm back positive on Jojoland.
Let's all hope Usagi dies, right?
Yes.
Okay,
People
so
get upset when I say that. They're like, "Why?"
Okay, so-
And I'm like, "Dude, I hate him."
so that's what I wanted to know, because not many people, JoJoTubers, like actively talk about JoJolands. I mean, there's some JoJolands from here to like here and there, but not every time. I mean, for example, I myself do monthly analysis of every JoJolands chapter, and I don't see many people talking about it. And I think that's one of the reasons why JoJolands it's like kind of hidden in the social media. So I'm always pushing people to talk more about it. But I think people are right now discovering Stable Run because they just finished Stone Ocean anime. So we will have to wait for all the people that are watching, reading Stable Run or Jojolion. So maybe it's because of that. But at least in Japan, and I think that's good news, Jojolands is like in the top 2 or 3 of the most sold mangas. So that's good
I think
news.
for me, the reason I haven't talked about it is just I kind of just make videos on when I kind of have a good idea. I'm kind of like I have something I want to talk about. Whereas I like the Jojolands, but I don't feel that drive to talk about it because I feel like there isn't much to talk about yet.
It's true. I'm trying to do a list of subjects that I could bring about Jojolands, and for the moment I just have Dragona, Past,
Yeah.
maybe Jodio, physical. I mean, no, so sorry. Psychic problems or mental illness. I don't know what does he have exactly. I don't know if he's a psychopath or sociopath. I don't know. But it will be mainly that and how the lava rock works. And done. It will be that. So it's true that for the moment we don't have a lot of things to talk about.
I think I would probably talk about it more if I did maybe more frequent videos. I don't post that like I don't do daily videos. I post hopefully like bi-weekly. And I feel like if I were to if I was like a daily talk channel, I think I might talk about it a lot more.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
When I have to weigh out like what video I want to work on for the next like little bit, because I hate editing. It takes me forever to edit. That's why the videos take forever for me to come out. I don't like editing, and it takes like 8 billion years to edit.
I agree with you, yeah.
If there was that less editing commitment, maybe I'd spend more time on it, but it's like I'd rather just work on other things, talk about other things.
I understand.
It's not that I don't want to talk about Jojolands, it's just I feel like I want to talk about other things more.
Yeah, okay. Well, now we are getting to the final part of the podcast, of the interview. So we're gonna do some activities just to finish the podcast in a fun way. So we're gonna begin with the JoJo guesser. So I'm gonna send you 10 locations one by one, and you're gonna try to guess which one it is and to be the most precise possible. Okay. So this is the first one. So for all those who are watching the video, we'll have the image.
Oh,
obviously.
Jeez. Oh, I know. Crap. I know. I know it's Phantom Blood. Because that's Phantom Blood. That's you're giving me my worst part, man.
I mean, I didn't know, so
No, it's fine. I'm kidding.
No, I
But
know.
dude, I know it's Phantom Blood, but like, I don't remember where in Phantom Blood that was. It does. I don't think that was Dio's mansion or whatever, or his castle or
Just
whatever.
say an answer, and we will see if it's the right one.
Dio's. I'm gonna say Dio's hideout from part 1.
No, it's from
Damn.
Battle Tendency. It's in the.
No way.
Yeah, it's the Nazi. It's the German lab from Mexico when Joseph tries to escape from Santana, and you
Oh.
remember that he wanted to reach the door to get the light, and there were
That's why it's all.
yeah, there
cool.
were axes on the wall, and thanks to that, he
Why were
chopped.
there axes on the wall?
I don't know, but it was big for the plot because thanks to that he could chop Stroheim leg. So yeah.
I think that was the axes were throwing me off.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
when I
know.
see axes, I was thinking like thinking some Phantom Blood shenanigans.
Yes, so that's why I cut it the image because if not, it was too obvious.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Okay, so the second one, gonna be a tricky one.
I know exactly where this is. This is in part 4 when Kira follows that couple home and kills them in their apartment.
Exactly.
And then he leaves and he sees Hayato running away.
Exactly.
I know. I remember that.
Exactly. Perfect. So it's exactly it's the house where Kira kills the girl in a scene that I really like Kira just walking at the side of the person and the person begins to explode. It's a very cool pose. And
It's a very cool. Have you seen it in the manga?
yes, I've seen
It's very cool in the
yeah.
manga.
And that's when Hayato discovers that his father is a serial killer. Okay, so that's 1 point for Chewie for the moment. Third one. This one is hard, I think.
There's 2 it could be.
Okay.
I'm leaning towards, is this in part 4 the house that Yukiko brings Koichi to and traps him in?
And the other one?
The other one is the part 8 mansion, or the part 8 Higashikata parlor. But
No.
now that I'm looking at it, it doesn't look.
No. It's from part 4. It's related to Koichi, but it's not the house at the cliff. No.
Really? And it's not.
Because
it doesn't look like
for example,
Rohan's
there are trees. So in the house where Yukako kidnapped, literally, Koichi, there was nothing around. So no, it's not Yukako's house. It's somebody's house.
It doesn't look like Josuke's house. Doesn't look like Rohan's house.
I don't know.
I don't think
you have to give an answer.
Okay, if it is like Rohan's house, what is it gonna be like? Is that like when they're playing and that one?
I don't know.
Like, okay, huh? It really looks like the house that like Yukiko would have brought.
Is that your answer?
No, because you already told me it's not.
Ah, okay. No,
Unless
it's not.
you're throwing me off.
No.
But
it's not.
I guess the only one is it Rohan's house?
We will see.
No,
sir. It's Koichi's house.
Oh, what the hell? I don't even remember. I don't even remember that.
Me neither. Me neither. So
What?
This was a hard one, but yeah, it's Koichi's house.
Yeah.
No. Remember that Rohan's house. It's more like tall, like.
No, I remember that, but I didn't know what else it could be.
Yeah, and the entrance to the house, like the access to the street, it was in front of the door, not at the side.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in my.
I want to look at the house Yukiko brought Koichi in. I swear it had like windows, like. Maybe I'm going crazy.
I don't know. Okay. Wait. I'm gonna edit the fourth one because if you get the dialogue, you will know what it is. I mean, maybe you will know what it is without the dialogues, but I have to. In what color? I'm gonna put white. Oh my god, no, I don't want to do that. How do we do this? Rotulador? Yeah, maybe. No, what is this? Ah, wait. Okay. There you go. There you go. Sorry, I wasn't. I thought the image was already modified, but that
No
should
problem.
be okay. I mean, this will be cut from the podcast, so no problem. Okay, so it's image number 4. So image number image number 4 is this one.
Dude. Huh? That's just like a room.
Technically, it's a room, yeah.
Okay. So my first impressions
Mm-hmm.
is my gut feeling is either part 3 Dio Mansion or
Okay.
maybe that one scene in part 6 in Pucci's backstory when he meets Dio in that church. Kind of looks a bit like that.
Well, you have to
But
pick
there's
one of them.
blood. There wouldn't be
There's
blood in the
blood,
church.
yeah. There's blood, yeah, true.
But what is that like machine in the back?
Uh-huh.
Industrial machine?
You saw the machine, true? It can help you?
The machine does not help me, man. I gotta go with my gut. Like, I think it makes more sense that it would be part 3. Oh wait,
Maybe?
no.
Ah.
Part 3 Dio's Mansion. I have to go with my gut. I don't know what else it could be.
Okay.
Wait. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It's the freaking vault at the end of part 7.
It's the shelter beneath
Right where they put
the
the
Trinity
church.
Trinity Church, yeah. It's where the corpse is, and it's where Diego dies. Fine, wait, Dio dies.
Damn.
Because of Lucy, yeah. This was a trick. This was a trick one, yeah, tricky one. Okay.
How did you find these?
Well, I
You
searched.
agree,
I
skimming through
searched
trying to
for
find, like, the hardest ones.
I mean, I searched for the chapter, and I mean, how did I choose the locations?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to
Well,
figure out.
randomly. Because
Alright,
just
alright.
thinking about it, or because I've talked about it, or it's just random.
Alright.
Fifth one. I think this one is easy. Normally, it's quite easy.
Yeah, that is the Trinity Church. from part
Exactly
7,
from Part 7. And why is it important?
because the vault is under it, and that's where the race ends.
Exactly. That's where the
Yes.
Silverman race ends. Okay. So location number 6.
So this is in part 4. When Yukiko, it's called, like, I even know the name. It's like Cape Boing Boing or something like that.
Exactly.
It's the place that Yukiko brings Koichi, and then she's gonna fall, and
Yeah.
Koichi's like, hell no, and he like makes it all bouncy, and she's like, what?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
totally how the scene goes. That's the dialogue, by the way.
Exactly. So this is the original image. So we can see the house where. Oh, there are trees.
See,
Okay.
The house does look the same, kind of. See
Nah,
the windows?
nah. There are how do we say? Pisos. How do we say pisos? Étage en français. Floors. Yeah. So and
Should-
Koichi's house, it's like 1 floor, maybe 2, but this is like bigger. It's like a mansion.
How did she afford that? Wasn't she a high school student?
I don't know. Okay.
Did she break in?
Surely, yeah. It doesn't feel like her house. Okay. Location number 7.
This is the part 5 train station. Naples train station, I think. If I were to give an exact city.
That's your answer?
Okay, well now that you're saying that, I'm second guessing myself.
Or not.
But my
It's-
gut
it's
is
just-
saying
it's-
that is the train station from Part 5. They get on the train and then they do the Grateful Dead fight.
Yeah, but which city?
Was it not Naples? I could have sworn it was Naples.
Naples, exactly. It's a Naples station.
Okay,
Exactly.
yeah.
Because then they went to Rome, and I think that's where no, Babyface. No, how is the user called?
The babyface user was Melone.
Oh yeah, Melone. Well, that's where Melone dies with the snake.
Yes.
Okay. This one I think it's pretty easy.
Yes, this is the Kennedy Space Station from Part 6.
Exactly. Okay, so this one was really.
I only know that because of JoJo's, which is kind of crazy when then I learned that's a place.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
And this one is also real place.
That is the Part 9 Land Bureau.
Exactly, from Hawaii. And if you see real images, it's the same thing. So
That's cool.
I think for Hawaii people reading Jojolands, it has to be really cool to see like real places represented.
Yeah, I think that's not the first one either. I think there was like a statue at one point that was.
No, of course, but at least this one is exactly the same. So yeah, it's the land register of Hawaii. And so last place.
This is the max. Wait. Yeah, this is. I remember these. This is during the Dragon's Dream fight when they go into the maximum security branch of the prison, and they're like, "What the hell? Why is everyone like pyrocynical OCs? They're all inflated."
Bravo. Okay, it wasn't easy. Okay.
Kenzo, I think his name was. He was putting water in their throats.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now we can go to the complete the quote. So complete the quote, it's a challenge where you have to complete the quote, either saying who is saying that and where, or literally completing the quote. Okay, so the first one is wait, this one. I'm back from hell, Dio.
That is Jonathan.
To who?
To Dio.
Wow.
I got that is, you know what? Pat on the back. I got something about Phantom Blood right. Hell yeah. That's a victory in my book.
Second one. Your stand, it's like your you don't go around.
Okay, that's funny. This is Norsuke Higashikata from Part 8.
Yeah.
I forget what he says. It's like your asshole or something like that.
Your stand is like your asshole. You don't go around.
Showing it off. Yeah.
Showing it to everyone. Yeah. And who is talking to?
A freaky quote. He's talking to Josuke.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, perfect.
I mean.
Okay, so third one. That's a nice watch, but
the only two times I can think of watches in the series are when Kira blocks the watch in his chest pocket, but I don't think he was saying that's a nice watch. And then I think like during the Steely Dan fight, they're like stealing watches or something.
No.
So I am
No.
They weren't. Well, they were stealing something.
I mean, it's Kira, but it's not that scene. I'm surprised you don't remember this quote. I mean, it's not a big deal, but you want the answer?
Nice watch. Hold on. Whoa, I'm thinking.
Okay.
Oh, well, he's talking to one of his hands.
No, it's not Kira talking. It's related to Kira, but it's not a quote from Kira.
I don't know.
Well, the answer is, that's a nice watch, but I will break it so you can never see the time on it again. By that, I mean I will break your face. And this is said by...
Josuke.
No, Jotaro.
Ayato. Jotaro, damn it!
Okay. It's Jotaro when Kira almost kills Koichi, and then Jotaro wakes up, and he then start Platinum Barrage to Kira. So yeah, this is Jotaro to Kira. Okay, so I'm gonna put it like this at the beginning, and if you don't know it, because it's kind of hard, I will tell you who says it. You were...
Bro, that's just 2 words.
I mean, if I say the character... I mean,
I guarantee there are so many sentences in JoJo's that start with "you were."
it was said by Pucci.
You were going to the bathroom.
No, it's at the end of Stone Ocean.
Oh, you were like 2 steps behind.
Yeah, exactly. You were 2 steps
Yes.
too late or ahead, or yeah,
I think it depends on the translation.
Yeah, exactly. So it's Pucci to who?
That's to Jotaro.
Exactly. Okay, next quotes. So, welcome, and it's Ringo.
To the real man's world.
Exactly. That is said
and he's
when...
saying that to Gyro.
Exactly.
When he's dying.
Okay, perfect.
Because real men live.
Okay. Next one. Okay, master.
Let's kill the hoe.
And then?
And that's Koichi and Echoes, and they're talking about the nurse at the hospital.
Yeah. Okay, next one. You have your references. Don't you understand? Morioh to Pucci. At least the next sentence.
It's definitely the scene. Like, I know it's definitely the scene at the very end when he gets Weather's disc and they're fighting, but don't you understand?
You lost.
You were fate.
You lost to.
You lost to a little bitch kid. That's what you lost to.
You lost to fate. Walking the path of justice is true fate.
Damn.
Yeah. Okay. I think this is the eighth one. If your heart is wavering,
do not shoot.
Exactly. To who?
Johnny Joestar.
Johnny Joestar.
And this was said by my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ.
Exactly. We all love Jesus. Okay. My heart and actions are.
My heart and actions are completely justice. Something like that. That's Funny Valentine. I don't remember the exact word.
Okay, that's Funny Valentine.
Actions
are utterly unclouded. They are all those of justice.
Those of justice, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and this one, a really beautiful one. So it's a dialogue. Gyro says, "How about a toast?"
And then Johnny says, "To what? We've lost everything."
Yeah, exactly. That's so. When was it?
That's iconic.
You remember the arc?
Yes, it was after. It was at the end of the Sugar Mountain Spring fight.
Yeah.
After the casino shootout. Yeah.
If I had to decide a moment where the anime could split into, that would be that moment. The moment
like
to split to the second
half?
part. Yeah. For me, the first half should end there. For me.
Yeah. I mean, is there enough content after? Because I feel like that's like late into.
I don't know, but I mean,
in
terms of the evolution of Johnny and Gyro and their situation, I think it's like a reset. It's like a complete change. Or maybe if you want to do it in 3 parts, like Stone Ocean, it can be like the second, third, maybe. I don't know. I should see where Sugar Mountain places in the story of Silver Run. Okay, so that was for the quotes and in the locations. So some of them were pretty good.
Okay, one of them was just "you were," which is like, come on, man, that's just 2 words. I promise you that was not the only time someone enjoyed.
No, I know, but then I said Pucci. Then I said Pucci, and then you guessed. Okay, so for true or false, there are 10 questions, so you have to say true or false. Okay, so first one.
Self-explanatory.
Polnareff hair stands at 8 centimeter tall. True or false?
Do people know that off rip? People have dimensions? I don't even know people had dimensions of his hair.
Well, apparently
Uh,
yes, in chapter 144.
Bro. Okay, let me do some mental math here.
Okay.
8 centimeters.
Oh wait, because you measure in inches?
No. We use centimeters
Oh,
in,
okay.
in Canada.
You're okay, so you're normal
I'm
people. Okay.
visualizing. Yeah, no. That's just the Americans. Americans are like, oh, we like to measure with. Okay, freaky. But I'm just doing the mental math to figure out like 8 centimeters is not that big at all. I think it's bigger, so I'm gonna say false. Like his hair seems bigger than 8 centimeters.
It's true. In chapter 144,
8
it's true.
centimeters?
8 centimeters tall.
I could have sworn it was bigger than that.
Yeah. Okay, so second one, Stardust Crusaders was the original title of part 3.
Well, I'm gonna have to say true because that I've never heard. Unless this is like, if it's not true, this is gonna be the first I'm hearing of this. So is it true?
Meh, false. Jotaro Kujo, Heritage for the Future. The same name
Oh.
as the video game.
So was it the video game was named after that, or that was?
I don't know. I don't know what came. I mean, I guess the video game came after, but maybe the video game took the name, the original name, the script, the forgotten idea. Maybe.
Yeah, that's interesting.
I know.
I never knew that.
Okay, so
Every day.
I mean, if you want to
Oh,
feel
Jesus.
relieved, many questions I wouldn't know them too. Okay, so I'm not an expert in JoJo lore. I mean, I know a lot of things, but not everything. So Rohan
Okay.
is the most portrayed character in the series.
This one, I think it depends. Are we counting spin-offs?
I think
Rohan at the
everything,
League and stuff
like any images of the character. I think I don't have a source. It was in JoJo Wiki. I mean, I think we can trust them, but there wasn't
that
a source.
If we are talking about everything, I think that has to be true because there are a lot of spin-offs with that. Araki is in. So I'm gonna say true.
Well, apparently it's false. It's Jotaro.
No, yeah, that makes sense.
It makes sense. I couldn't say tell you the amount, but apparently it's the case.
Listen, it just feels like Rohan is everywhere. I can't escape that guy.
Yeah, it's like
Can't even escape him in Hawaii.
Charizard in Pokemon. It's like everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, so the Lokakaka fruit are from Madagascar.
No, false. I know they're from Papua New Guinea.
Exactly, they are from New Guinea. Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, question number 5. Rockman. I think it's said like this in English, right? Rockman.
Yeah.
I mean, Rockman with an E.
Rockman, rock people.
Yeah, rock people. Yeah, you get the idea. They are allergic to mango.
I remember there was a page in Jojolands where there's just a bunch of facts about them, random facts. So if this is true, it would be on that page.
It is true.
I don't remember that.
It is true. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it is true. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I'm saying true then. I didn't technically guess yet, but
yeah, true. Yeah, you got me. Yeah. Okay, question number 6. Catch a Wave is the horse that finished 3rd in the Silver Run race.
Oh my god. Okay, I'm gonna. You know what? False.
Okay, so who was the 3rd horse?
I don't know. I don't remember the horse names. I remember Slow Dancer. Remember Valkyrie. I remember like Lone Star, and I remember Kanye West. I don't remember any of the other horses, so I have no idea. But I'm gonna say because I feel this is you're tricking me right now.
Well, it's true. It's true. Sorry.
Damn.
Yeah, you have to read the Silver Run race book again. Okay, you need more knowledge.
Dude, I don't need to know all the horses. I'm not like a white girl in love with horses.
No, me neither. Don't worry. But I want to ask some tricky questions to see at what level of knowledge
It's
people
fun.
have.
It's fun.
Question 7. The L.Joestar mansion is located in Manchester.
Oh my god. Okay, I know nothing about England at all. But
well, you're from Canada. They are like your parents.
they are my parents. So I remember Jonathan goes to London, but he like goes there. I feel like if the mansion was in London, it wouldn't be like a journey because he like goes on like a carriage.
Okay.
So that's my logic to say that I don't think he's in London, and therefore, if he's not in London, then sure, yeah, I'd say true. The Joestar Mansion is in Manchester.
It's false. Because it
Isn't it in London?
depends. If we take the manga, it's in Liverpool. And if we take the map on JoJo 6251, it's London. I mean, outside of
That
London.
doesn't make sense to be London.
Outside of London. I mean, you have to take in account the period. To go to central London can take like a whole day. If you are in, I don't know. I don't know England either. I don't know. But yeah, it's either Liverpool or London. Okay, so this one, I didn't know about it. So good luck. Star Platinum and Silver Chariot were originally called
God.
Star Silver and Platinum Chariot.
Again, this is just like the part 3 one where it's like I have never heard this. So if this is true, it's like I'm learning something new.
Well,
like, I have to say false because like no, I've never heard that in my entire life.
Well, it's false, but you didn't get the answer because it's partially false because only Star Platinum was called Silver Star at the beginning.
That's crazy. I've never heard anyone.
Yeah,
say
me
that.
neither. It was somebody that's talked me about.
Sounds like the kind of stuff Hamon Beat would talk about in his videos.
Yeah. I would love to. I mean, now that I have make an interview with you and I'm having really a good time with you, I would really like to interview like Hamon Beat or Meta or Xforce.
That'd be cool.
One of them. I will try my best to show. Hey, I already make something with CHEWIEDOG. Apparently he liked it, so maybe you can like it too. It will be cool, but we will see. Okay, so question 9. We will see how much you like JoJolion. Josuke from part 8 was meant to have soft and wet from the beginning.
I'm a bit confused by this question. Does he not have?
No, I mean the question
he
is,
has it.
does Araki? I mean, did Araki plan to give Josuke that stand from the beginning?
I mean, he uses it for the first time in like chapter 3 or maybe even chapter 2, or no, chapter 1 with the bubble.
Yeah, true.
So I mean, it has to be true.
False. It was not King Cole.
No way.
Yes.
No way. Okay, that's actually crazy, and I kind of that's crazy lore that I know that now.
I mean, I'm just basing my responses on JoJo Wiki. So if I'm wrong, it's because of JoJo Wiki. So I'm protecting myself. But I was shocked by this. And I remember that you made a video about Joshu or Nat King Cole. So, or a short,
I've never done
I don't know.
a full video yet. Or no, I did a short. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So when I saw this,
crazy.
I told myself, yeah, I have to put this on the true or false. I mean, can you imagine Josuke with the Nat King Cole stand?
I feel like it is like that actually kind of makes sense. I feel like the protagonists need a stand that like can have a lot of variety in it, so the fights can, be very different. So like, Giorno's gold experience, he could do all sorts of crazy stuff with it throughout the part. And I feel like you could do some really cool stuff with Nut King Cole. I feel like, maybe Josh, you should come back in part 9 because we barely even saw it.
Yeah, true. Okay, so last question. Funny Valentine was inspired by Donald Trump.
Oh my god. Okay, well, first off, I feel like it kind of has to be false just by the fact. Well, I mean, Donald Trump, he's been around for a. But people do point out that he is kind of Donald Trump-esque, but like Donald Trump didn't get into politics until like well after Steel Ball Run came out, which was during
Okay,
the
that's a good
so
explanation.
I'm gonna say false. He was not inspired by Donald Trump.
Okay, so who would be the inspiration of Funny Valentine?
I never really gave thought to that. I don't know. I mean, I never really thought that there would be like one particular person. But I always kind of
Apparently there
imagined.
is one.
I always kind of imagined he was just kind of like a caricature of populist American presidents.
Okay, well, apparently, obviously it's false. So apparently it was inspired by Thomas G. Whitmore, the
I
U.S.
have no idea who
president
that is.
from Independence Day.
I have not seen that movie.
Me neither. I mean, I know the scenes, and I don't know how he's inspired by him, but okay, let's
Yeah,
keep
alright.
that information. So
Like, sure.
we will leave it there. Okay, so this was the end of the whole podcast. So I always like to finish the podcast with the guest just sending a message to his community or to the whole JoJo community. I mean, you can finish the video as you want. You're free to go.
That's a lot of power to put in one guy's hand.
I mean, just
I see a
don't
big difference here.
don't insult Johnny Joestar and Jotaro, and everything will be fine for me.
Okay. Gotta play nice. Well, I think I just gotta thank you for inviting me onto this podcast. It was fun. Like I said earlier, I think it's fun to do things, especially with other people, collaboration. There isn't really like much collaboration within the JoJo's community, like ever. Semi recently, me, Willie, Nordwrench, Metas, and Julian Exports, we did a video, 4 of us.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, and I saw that the community was really happy about it.
Yeah. Other than that, there really isn't much. As for why, I have no idea. I think there might be some beef going on. I'm not really a YouTube drama guy. So
Yeah, me neither. I don't follow those stuff.
But I think it's very cool. I think it would be very cool if you got the other guys on.
I hope.
You know?
I mean, you know them, so maybe you can try. You can help me to say, hey, there's a nice Spanish guy.
I know some of them. I don't know. I talked to most of them except for Ham on Beat and Caleb. Other than that.
Oh yeah, there's also him, Caleb. Yeah, true.
Yeah. Other than that, though, not to toot my own horn. I got a good amount of good credit built up. A recommendation from me might,
It could help, yeah.
not to be too full of myself.
I mean, it should be something natural. I mean, I can maybe. I mean, I think I'm not wrong saying that you have been fine here, like in a good mood, and it was real pleasure to have you.
Fun.
Yeah.
I like these games because I like doing video stuff, and then I don't have to deal with editing. Because man, do I hate editing.
Yeah.
Editing sucks.
Yeah. It's cool once you finish the montage, but when you're in front of the screen with all the images, all the audio too, oh my god,
it's so time consuming.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's it. That's
okay.
My final message to the world.
Okay. Well, I have to thank you again for accepting my humble invitation, because I'm just a 200. I mean, thanks to you, I have like 40 more subscribers only with your announce. So I'm raising little by little. I'm trying to make myself a name in the community, mostly in the Spanish community. But if I can do this with French or English speaking JoJoTubers, it would be great for me to become somebody, let's say, important, and somebody that has contribute into the life of the JoJo community to maintain it alive. And I thank you for supporting me and my accent, because it was really a challenge, and I was really stressed at the beginning telling myself, is it gonna be good to the viewers to listen to me with my accent? I think it was
As,
fine,
as a
and
native English speaker, like you sound like someone who's like speaks English fluently. Like I did not notice at all.
well, I'm flattered, yeah, really. I mean, I know I play, I usually play with American guys to video games, so I'm used to play English like in live. But this has been like almost 2 hours, I think. Yeah, more than 2 hours. So I really thank you for that, and I mean, I hope to see you one day for another collaboration,
Yeah, that'd be cool.
and we will keep in touch. So for all those who were here, thank you so much for listening to Chewy, our guest. You can leave in the comments what you have thought of everything that we said, the hot takes and other comments.
Guys, nice comments only.
Yeah, and if you want a guest, you can help me to bring that guest, attending. Please bring this guest to the program, and I will try my best, maybe with Chewy help, to bring somebody else important to the community. I'm gonna try to interview Damo, who is a very important Spanish-speaking YouTuber. I'm gonna try some French speaking YouTubers. So in either way, because I know that I'm talking to this English public right now, I've not, I didn't do it yet, but I'm planning little by little to add subtitles to all the Morioh radio station videos, so that everybody can watch them. For example, my first episode was with JoJo in Spanish, so you obviously won't be able to understand. But I think it can be a really good thing if we were able to connect the zones, the JoJo zones, let's say, with subtitles. It's a huge work because I have to manually write down the subtitles.
Man, I thought YouTube had like an auto.
Yeah, but they are crap.
Suck.
Yeah. I mean, for little videos, it's okay, but once you begin to talk about things that doesn't exist in the real world, like stands, protagonists, and places, it's
point.
Yeah. So I prefer to write them myself, and then translating. Google, if you put a good text, it will translate it in a good way. So you need to first write the text, and then you can just ask YouTube to translate it. It's okay. So for those who don't know me and who wants to follow me, know that I have Jojolands video each month that are subtitled in English, French, and Spanish, so you can understand them. The last 4 videos are not subtitled by now because with the I'm back on school, so I have a lot of things to do, but they will be subtitled at one point. Morioh Radio Station videos are subtitled, and the scripted videos are subtitled. Why? Because it's very easy. Because you just have to send the text to YouTube, and they will put the text on the frames, and then you just have to translate. For example, I made a video a few days ago called the JoJo reference in JoJo's, which is a different point of view because we always talk about the JoJo reference, but we don't know about the JoJo reference in JoJo's. For example, the comeback of Killer Queen, of L.Joestar, everything. So that video, you can all watch it because it's in Spanish, but the subtitles are writing in English, French, and Spanish. That was an introduction for me, for all the new English subscribers. So thank you so much. Good night, Chewy, and see you maybe next time.
Yeah, all right.
Good night.
Bye-bye.